Hi everyone, before I get into today's gameplay, I'd like to give a plug to the official Stimhack League that is being held on Octagon. This is, I believe it's a 1 to 2 month long tournament that will pit you across everyone around the world that plays Netrunner, and this is really cool. The best thing is that you don't have to play your most top tier competitive decks, your Andy, your RP, your Near Hub. You don't have to. In fact, I'm not going to, because I'm going to try my tier 2 decks and see how far they make it. And so far, I'm looking very good because I'm in dead last. Well, okay, so not many people have started playing, but as more matches come up, we'll have more and more statistics and we'll have a lot of fun. And you can see how you rank across the board. So I'll be playing my noise deck. This deck uses test run instead of auto scripter if you have seen my previous videos. Alright, so my opening hand is trash. There is Crypsis, which is good for getting past all the opening eyes, but you don't really want Crypsis against Near Earth Hub because of wraparound. Wraparound means you rather have Corroder. Architect means you rather have Mimic. And the zero strength eyes, you rather have Parasite. So actually Crypsis is pretty bad. I mulligan into a much better hand. I have a Cash, which is always good, burst economy early on. 2 credits is not bad. And an Aesop's in hand, which means 2 credits suddenly become 5 credits. So this is definitely a good hand. And of course, I have 2 Deja Vus, which can take advantage of the recurring caches. But first, since I started with a medium, I'm going to install it and run through R&D. If that's a pop-up window or any other porous ice, I'll get free medium tokens and put him under a lot of pressure. So he shows me the Architect. And this is huge. This is a porous piece of ice. So of course he gets a Fire Architect off, but deep back in my mind I'm thinking my medium's about to get real loaded. So first I access 1 card and I see a Hedge Fund. Very well, I'll run again. I don't care. You can install as many cards as you like from your hand or your grip, or your R&D for that matter. It doesn't matter. If you install agendas from your R&D, I will run them in time to come because he only has 2 credits left. He did not start with a hedge fund, so this is huge. He doesn't have the 3 credits that's needed to score an agenda. So if he install an Astro script in one of the remotes, he cannot score it next turn. So I'm okay with not checking the remotes yet. I can wait till next turn. But right, so finally he decides to defend R&D, but again it's porous ice, so I just get through it. And he can install as much as he likes. I'm giving him free clicks, but he has to pay for that. He has to pay for my medium, which is getting pretty large. If he doesn't install the agendas that are on R&D, I will steal them. So it's a very bad conundrum for him. Either way, he's going to lose the agendas. If it's a build or an Astro script, they're hanging out on the top of his deck. So all I see is Hedge Fund, Biotic Labor, and Fast Track. So everything else that was on top of his R&D was either ice that he installed with Architect, or assets or agendas that are lying on the board right now. Thankfully for me, for him, he's looking pretty good. After just 1 turn, he has 4 pieces of ice and 4 assets installed. How often do you get to say that? Well, of course he clicks for credits because he's poor, and now I will check his remotes to see if he sneaked any Astro scripts or builds out of the way. And sure enough he did. I find a build, scoring it. Then a daily business show. I should be trashing that, but with my weak economy, I can't do so right now. And anyway, because he used daily business show, he will get to see the Biotic Labor and Fast Track on top of his deck. So he has to choose one. I believe he chose the Biotic Labor, burying the Fast Track, which is pretty good. Now I see a Test Run. This is a very important card. Test Run allows me to tutor any breaker from my deck. So this kind of plays like a shaper as well, and lends to my more aggressive strategy. As you saw, I was very aggressive when running R&D. I'm playing more towards early game, but without sacrificing the late game power of noise. So I hope this works in my favor. On my last click, I tutor for Mimic with Test Run, placing the Mimic back on top of my stack. So my next draw will be a Mimic. I want to get past the Architect as easily as possible. And this hopefully should place more pressure on him. And as you can see, The next piece of ice he draws goes on R&D because he knows that his server is going to be porous if I manage to drag my Mimic out and install it and start running on R&D. The last thing he wants to do is to let me access 4 cards on top of R&D because that could win me the game outright. So in the meantime, I continue digging for more juicy stuff from my deck. Hopefully I find more money or more setup pieces or more caches. That would be really nice. I would like to find one more good virus that I can bounce back to my hand with Deja Vu. I've drawn all 3 Deja Vus right now. It's not a good thing to see so many Deja Vus this early. I need more viruses to take advantage of Deja Vu. And here it is, Parasite. Fantastic. Exactly what I'm looking for. But first, I install the Grimoire. I want to get the most out of my cache, and the way to do so is by installing Grimoire, which gives each cache 1 more credit in return. Of course, I am sacrificing early game aggression for this. The end result is that he is building up his board very well. He has 2 pack campaigns out. I would love to trash them, but I haven't found my imp yet. And yeah, he is about to score agendas if I'm not careful. And I know he has a biotic label in deck, so it's only a matter of time before he finds his first Astro script, and it will be accelerated because of Daily Business Show. Alright, Parasite goes in and trashes his pop-up window. Then I run his server to keep him honest, and it's a Sen. So, someone's going to score an agenda. Yep. He draws into an Astro script and scores it immediately with Sen, which is very worrying because he's not using his Biotic label. This means that, firstly, he still has the potential to fast-track Biotic label and another Astro script to chain all the way to victory. And the most worrying thing is that now I need to trash that Sen, but I can't. The correct move there would have been to click for 3 credits and then trash his Sen. What I did was to Deja Vu the cache, install the cache, and take 1 credit to install the cache. Not enough money. I was one shot. So I was forced to spend my last click on something else due to this miscalculation, which ended up being running on R&D, which is a pretty stupid thing to do. I thought I had my Mimic out, but I didn't yet. So yeah, this was a very foolish move by me. And that cost me 2 agenda points. He manages to score a build that he wouldn't have otherwise. Alright, so now I get even more money through drawing up. The top of my deck proves to be very rich in money. I've seen a lot of eSops pawn shops and caches and my second Parasite, but they're all pretty useless. Parasite is useless because I'm up against Lotus Fields and Architects, both of which Parasites are useless against. Alright, so at least I have some money now. I can do some stuff with that money, but I still cannot break through his R&D because I haven't found the very necessary Crypsis that I needed. So after drawing up some time, I decided to just spend my last click to get the cash back so that I can keep ahead of money. Money would be important because the moment I find my Crypsis, I can run R&D easily and trash his assets and access lots of cards. Here, he fires Jackson to reshuffle his deck in the unlikely event that I'm running Hades Shard, which is a very good choice by him. A good court player will know when it is time to fire the Jackson to do it preemptively before the Hades Shard hits the table. Yeah, I'm definitely getting desperate right now. It's not helpful that I haven't found a single inject or wild side yet. Those are my mega card draw machines, but I have no access to them, which means that I cannot find which means that the amount of time it takes to assemble my rig is very, very slow. I still need a corroder, I still need my Crypsis. It's gonna take too long. In the meantime, I simply since I found my Charizard, I'm just going to get more money. At this point, I'm pretty flush on credits, but these credits are pretty useless. Arguably, I should have trashed the Daily Business Show, but I figured that he had Fast Track and Biotic in hand, so no point contesting him anymore. And he scores another Astro Script, so he has 6 points. He's on match point. He has an Astro Script token. And there are still 2 pieces of breaking news in his deck. So I spent my first click to draw. It's not a Crypsis. My only hope right now is to run through R&D and see with 4 cards. Hopefully that will win me the game. But I don't find a Crypsis. So I install the data sucker to mill more agendas into archives, but he shows that the last card he drew was a Jackson, and he Jacksons the agendas away from his archives. So seeing him do that, I immediately knew that I couldn't win off an archives run. I couldn't get into R&D because the only solution I have against Lotus Field is a Crypsis, and it's not coming up. I have 2 clicks left. I cannot find enough agendas to win, and I know he will win because he has fast track. He can fast track for breaking news and score it. Even if I trash that Sand, he can score it in the same turn because of Astroscript. He has 1 token. So I considered the game. Because, yeah, there was no way I was going to score 5 agenda points in 2 clicks. And sure enough, he shows the fast track, and I knew that he would win. So that was that. That was a very, very unfortunate game for me. It started pretty well. I would have liked to see an Astroscript on the top of his R&D during the first turn where I collected lots of medium tokens. But that didn't happen, and as a consequence, he managed to pull off an Astro Train. One big problem with this deck is its inconsistency. I've preached a lot about how inconsistent Noise is, and this game clearly shows it. There were quite a few cards in my deck that I was searching for. Any of them would have given me a shot at stopping him from winning the game outright. I couldn't find a single of them. There are 2 Crypsis in my deck. I couldn't find either of them. There are 5 card draw machines in my deck. 3 warp sites, 2 warp sites and 3 injects. I didn't draw a single one of them this game. I have 3 imps in my deck. Didn't draw a single one. An imp would have given me an alternative route to victory. I could have installed imp and ran HQ if the HQ ice is porous, or if it's parasitable, I can get in freely and run like mad, and trash his fast track, trash his Baltic labor. He cannot score his last agenda. I didn't manage to do that. Imp would have given me the solution. I wasn't able to draw it, and it all came down to that one test run early on. That test run is so flexible. It allows me to pull out any silver bullet I need to win the game, but I expended it preemptively on the Mimic, a Mimic that stayed in my hand for the rest of the game. That was the fatal mistake, and that cost me the game. So, a combination of bad luck and poor foresight, well, that's Noise for you. Very high skill cap. I've yet to master it. I'm a long, long way from it. Granted, Astrobiotics is very strong, but I feel like I could have played this better. Still, the first turn was exhilarating. Very exciting to charge up that medium and force him into uncertain board state. Although I did help him build up his board very fast, especially that 4 stack ice on R&D. That's ridiculous. Thanks for watching and happy net running. Goodbye.